Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.
All right, we're back.
Hey, folks.
Woohoo! Okay, we're down for 10 more. Today we're going from number 70 to 61 of the People's Choice. If this is for some reason the very first video you've ever seen of this, we're going 1,000.
Stop. Go back.
Well, 1,100 people voted on their favorite games, and here is 10 more of them. Now, we've gotten 1 or 2 dozen comments about the Wheaton effect, which I used to think was something negative, but apparently it's good.
It's a great thing.
Will Wheaton has started a show called Tabletop, which gets more views in one video than I think I get in a month, where he plays games with celebrities.
Right.
I have Z, though, but...
See you soon, Will.
Well, yeah, that's true. He'll call you up on the show.
Right.
And some people said that that's why some of the games went up. That's why Munchkin went up some, and what was the other one? Tesuro. And maybe. I really think it's kind of preliminary to see if that is why that data has moved those games or not, especially since other games that Will Wheaton has had on this show haven't done well at all. For example, Say Anything.
Right.
Is a fantastic game, didn't even make the top 250. Mm-hmm. And that kind of surprised me, and that was also on a show. So
well, here's the thing I think about that is maybe, maybe that's true, but it seems like the people who will watch the Will Wheaton show know about the games already. So why would being reminded of Zero is out there suddenly make everybody go, oh yes, that's true, that is a great game back when I played it 5 years ago.
yeah, what if he was playing checkers? Would checkers be on my top 100?
Probably people who the crowd who watches the show probably is aware of these games, I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think really we're going to have to see a couple years of data to see if that's true or not. But for everyone who says, do you know that Will Wheaton exists? Yes, we do. So, anyhow, let's get started.
Number 7, Descent.
Number 70 is Descent, and I'm not bringing the giant box of Descent out because it's, well, I don't have it anymore. Now, this is one of the maybe controversial calls that I've made when I put this list together, is I separated Descent 1 and 2. Because I feel like they're different enough games. And a lot of people very specifically voted for one or the other. And does that mean Descent 2 is also in the top 100? You will have to watch and see. Maybe it didn't make it, maybe it did. But we know that Descent did make it at number 70. This game came on the heels of Doom. Did you ever play Doom?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Doom was just some shoot-'em-up game. It had some really cool mechanics, but there were some problems with it. They fixed some of those problems in Descent, although kind of exasperated some of those problems with the expansions, and it did get kind of long.
Sure. Well, I haven't played this either, and largely that's why, because the fact that it's hours upon hours just freaks me out.
But Descent 2 is not hours upon hours, so I think we're going to see a shifting over into that area. I'll have to play that with you sometime. But Descent is what a lot of people want it. Dungeons & Dragons as a board game, this is probably the closest you're going to get to it in the Descent boxes. But I predict Descent won't be on the list next year.
So
I predict it'll be
you're
gone.
saying version 2.0 is going to wipe this away.
Yes, I do. I am saying that. I think that will be on the list, and this will not be.
Okay.
Goodbye, Descent.
Number 69, Bethesda.
Bonanza.
The Bean Game.
Well, here's the deal. Bonanza for me is a game that has worn on me. I'm sick of it. Mm-hmm. Not because I dislike the game. Didn't I try to rope you in that at Dice Tower Con? I don't remember, but I went in a...
You probably tried to rope me into something.
Somebody roped me into a game of this, and I was like, well, I played... And they said, oh, I like Bonanza, so I played Bonanza. And it's a good game. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's lost its luster. But I think the mark that it's a great game is that it's still on this list.
Right. Well,
when a lot of other older games have fallen off.
That's true. I see it. I put this in the same category, not lengthwise or crowd-wise even, but it's in the same category as For Sale. That's a pretty old game, but holds on to that spot in the market that it's a niche for.
But I
you know?
would still play for sale easily. While this one,
Yes, but for sale's 15 minutes. This game's not 15 minutes.
that's
you know.
and I think that's for me the problem I have with Bonanza is I still think it's a great game, but sometimes about 30 minutes in the game I'm like, I'm good.
Well, it's mainly a trading game. Would you say there's other trading games that have overdone it for you? Have kind of overtaken it?
No, not really. Not with cards. I can't think of any card trading game really.
I think
Settlers.
it's definitely got interesting mechanics with the hand you hold that you cannot rearrange the card order in. I definitely know why it's on the list. I mean, I think
Yeah, because it was on tabletop.
Will Wheaton.
So anyhow, no, but I'm sorry. So it's on the list. Do you like this game? Do you own this game?
I think I still own one. Yeah, one of the many versions. And it's like one of those Flux things that it's come out, in 27 flavors. I own one of them. Yeah, and I do enjoy it. I don't think there's anything quite like it out there.
Now that I would play Doctor Who Bonanza, Star Trek Bonanza.
How do you Doctor Who Nanza? I don't know.
Doctor Who Nanza. All right, next game.
Number 68, Yomi.
Okay.
I remember raving about this game to Z right when I first got it.
That's right.
I was like, Z, you got to come over and play this. And usually when I play a game with Z, I'm like, all right, let's get the next game out. But this one I said, let's play it again.
Yeah, we played several times, and I beat you all of them.
That's because I was experimenting. Yomi is a very popular game, and this is the second year it's on the list. It's only dropped a few slots, and I think it's there just because it's so easy to pick up, because it does feel like a video game to some degree.
Right.
It's basically advanced rock, paper, scissors, but people really like it. Yeah. And as far as I can tell, it's super balanced.
Right. And there's supposedly there's an expansion coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
10 new characters, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's a great two-player game if you like the asymmetrical head-to-head type of games, but you want to get one in 15 minutes. This is one of the few choices, really.
Yeah, there's a few other ones.
I'm not talking CCGs at all. This is one of the simplest, fastest, but one that doesn't fade, it seems. I mean,
but I think that even though this is a simple game, I think it has more depth than it appears when you first start playing it. I think an advanced player will wipe the floor with someone who's new.
Sure.
Because they know how to use their cards to better effect.
Well, and it has that psychological aspect of it, of, I'm trying to guess what you're thinking while you try to guess what I'm thinking, back and forth.
Right.
It's a fairly indie game, though, so it does surprise me that it's on the list. I wonder how big of a market this game has,
Well, we'll have to see. Well, GameSaloot's now distributing it, so it's probably out there more.
But yeah, it's a good choice. Good choice, people.
Yomi!
Number 57, Sid Meier's Civilization.
I have a copy of the next game, Sid Meier's Civilization.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know why. I mean, I enjoy playing Sid Meier's Civilization, but I don't feel the need to go back and play it because that experience, the entertaining part of it, I can get just from playing Sid Meier's Civilization on my computer.
The video game.
Yeah, but it's a really good version of it, I think, and obviously a lot of people like it because this is the second year it's on the list, although it went from 32 to 67, so obviously the shine of how awesome it was has dropped a little, but still to make the top 100.
Sure. And that's not a massive drop. So you're saying that you think it suffers from the video game comparison?
Only for me.
Okay.
Only for me. And for me, it just suffers because it's a fairly lengthy affair for what you get. If you could play it in 2 hours, I would want to play it a lot more. The fact that it takes 4, no matter what anyone tells you, it's probably 4 hours. That's a pretty long game. Have you played it?
I haven't played it. I'm waiting for version 2.0. 2-hour version, baby. Then I'll
Fantasy
jump in.
Flight with the 2.0 versions.
Sid Meier's Civ. That's it.
Next year, I'll tell you, Twilight Imperium 4 is going to come out one of these days.
Half an hour.
Number 66, Rose.
You know, I thought I had this game when I was getting ready, but I don't. Railroad Tycoon, or Railways of the World. Do you have it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any of those train games. They're all too big and clunky for me.
Well, I like train games, and I see why a lot of people like this one. In fact, this one is higher than Steam,
Right, which we talked about just recently.
and I don't think Age of Steam even made the list. How sad.
A peek ahead. A rare peek ahead. In
Oh, sorry.
Vassal's mind.
I spoiled. That's not my mind. It's the people's mind. So anyhow, the thing about Railroad Tycoon, the reason I got rid of it was just because it's so huge. But like I said, they're doing a really good job at supporting it. They keep coming out with more expansions.
True.
They just announced Railways of North America, although it's basically Railways of Canada. I don't know why they didn't want to call Railways of Canada. Maybe they're trying to sell it to some people in Minnesota.
Make it work.
But anyhow, it's a visual feast with all the three-dimensional trains and the train stations, and it's not a difficult game to play. If you're going to teach someone a train game, a beginner, this is one, as long as you have 2 4x6 tables to put together.
Well, I know there's a big train game crowd out there, so I know why the game's on the list, and I think it's as far as train games go, this is a good one, I'm sure. Again, it's not my genre, but I know it's near the top. It's definitely better than all that 18XX stuff.
Well, but yeah, okay. 18XX is a very specialized group. You'll never see what it does in the list just because while there's people who like it, most people's brains stop working after the first turn explanation.
Yeah.
And then let me look. Page 6, shut up, stop.
I'm going to go play for Sam.
Number 65, Bubble Team Manager.
All right, for today's top 10, this is the only new one on the list. This one came out about a year or so ago. It came out at Gen Con. It came out and everyone was kind of surprised because it came out of nowhere. They just suddenly announced Blood Bowl Team Manager. People said, what is that? Oh, it's a deck building game. But then when it came out, oh, it really wasn't a deck building game. It was a team building game and almost a fancy version of War. Not War, but like area control with cards, I guess. I'm not sure how to describe it. So this one has divided playgroups like none other, particularly mine.
This game is awful!
I really like it.
There's nothing in this game. It's not Advanced War. It's War with prettier pictures.
Look, it's not.
It's numbers on each side and nothing happens.
Well, the people agree with me, apparently. And there is an expansion coming, so there.
Will Wheaton!
No, but here's the deal. Is that our go-to phrase now?
Every time I'm upset, I'm coming for you, Will.
Okay. Yeah, that's true, both of us. But anyhow, Blood Bowl Team Manager, I think, has legs. I just think it's a very divisive game. I can barely bring it out by playgroup because most of the people I game with regularly refuse to even let me open the box.
It's not just me, then.
It isn't just Z. But some of us, including me, do enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they finally are coming out with an expansion. It took them a while, but
yeah,
they're finally releasing.
We'll see the
something
legs.
else.
Well, then the iOS version. We'll see. Anyway, Blood Bowl Team Manager.
Number 64, Cyclades.
Cyclades. Or I used to call it Cyclades, and then everyone yelled at me for not knowing how to pronounce words I don't know how to pronounce properly. I thought it was like Cyclops, but just like the Everglades. Mix them together and Cyclades.
I like that.
But it's Cyclades.
I have a game idea brewing.
What about Cyclops trapped in the Everglades with alligators?
Crocs and Cyclops.
Have you played Cyclades?
I have, and you have it. So bring it out. Where is it?
No, I used to have it. I used to have it
right here.
Oh, you have it. Wait a minute, isn't this my old copy?
Cyclades! This is not your old copy, sir. This is my own copy. Put it right there. This is mine.
All right. Well, Cyclades is a game that doesn't look like what it is. When you first pull it out, it looks like a big war game.
True.
And it is kind of a war game, but you see these big monsters, you're like, oh, how do these monsters fight each other? Well, they show up for a turn, knock a couple people around, and then disappear.
That's
or
true.
they stop you.
Yeah, it's mostly a Euro in kind of war game clothing. Yeah.
That's my one problem with the game. I like it. It's good. It's simple. There's a good auction mechanic and card mechanic, but it just drives me nuts that you can't storm those monsters around the board and fight each other.
True. You have to go into the game knowing the kind of game it is. For a Euro with a lot of really fun flavor, it's a good game.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of people like it. Obviously, it's on this list.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous looking. The game is stunning looking, and the bits are great. The flow of the game is a little weird for me. I do find that, that whole you just get to 2 points and you win it's a strange stalemate type situation right at the end. You kind of build up and
But-
everybody holds.
But it keeps
So
the game.
somebody snatches another person's point.
It makes the game end.
That's true, and it's not 90 minutes or so, and the game's out. But I could see it pleasing both crowds. You know what I mean?
That's true, and that's why it's been so popular. Because I think the light war gamers like it and the Euro gamers like it.
Good game.
Oh, and beautiful production artwork.
Number 63, Space Alert.
We were pulling out the games for today's episode. My daughter was helping me, and she said, Space Alert. She says, oh, that's that freaky game. She said, I can't stand it. So because she's played this, and it drove her nuts because the guy kept saying, do this, do that, do that. And she was getting all frustrated. People who can't stand that will hate this game. And I'm surprised. This is one of those games that really surprised me it makes this list. Because I know there's people who love Space Alert.
Right. It's a very divisive game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a real-time cooperative game. So you're doing things, and this soundtrack the whole time is going, radio silence, you need to do this, well, time's running out, spaceship attacking.
Look at if I had any hair, I'd pull it out.
So I really like it. But again, it's another one of those games I'm considering getting rid of because very rarely can I find people to play with. And it's kind of annoying that you need some kind of soundtrack
Right.
to play it. If you're in a crowded area where there's a lot of noise.
I thought there was a way to play without the sound.
Yeah, there is. You can read the card. It's
no
not.
good?
It's just not the same thing.
Okay.
It's like me reading it and a spaceship
boring.
attack.
This guy. I haven't played. I really, really dislike this designer, and after I've played a couple of his other games,
They have a feud.
I'm just out. This guy, I cannot deal with his methodology of almost every game I've played by him being set up, and then you sit there and watch everything you did just slowly fall apart.
Well,
while
guess
you
what?
Weep inside.
That is exactly what this
So
game
it's,
is.
and that's why I said, I love co-ops, but that idea just drives me really far away.
Well, obviously enough people liked it to get on the list. I suspect that this is one of the games that made it on the list because a lot of people voted for it very highly, rather than a lot of people voting for it.
Right, sure. And was it on the list last year?
It was. It was at 53, went to 63, pretty close.
That's good, yeah.
There you go.
Number 62, Merchants and Marauders.
Good. Merchants and Marauders has gotten rave reviews from most of the people who played it and have made it through a whole game. That's the one problem with Merchants and Marauders is it's to me felt more piratey than any game I've ever played, but also on other people's turns I was sitting there going,
Right.
I want to go. Have you played this one?
No, again.
Because you don't play these kind of
can't
games.
deal with these games. It's, that whole, this game makes me feel like a pirate. I don't want to be a pirate. I want to pretend to be a pirate. It's like playing one of the train games. I don't want to run a company. I don't want to balance my checkbook. I want to play a game.
Okay, but there's a balance there too. Because if you just want to play a game, then you can just play any old Euro game. Who cares about the theme?
No, I like theme. I just don't like theme for 7 hours. This is not 7 hours, but you get my point. I do like the way it looks. That one time I saw it open.
Okay, well I like it. It's just a lengthy game. But again, obviously a lot of people like it because this is the second year it made the list.
I think the pirate theme drives it home for a lot of people.
There you go.
Yeah.
And there's no other pirate game really out there other than the very light ones like Pirates Cove and such. So this has not much competition.
Right.
Number 61 is Defenders of the Realm.
Defenders of the Realm. Ooh. That's because I have every expansion for it in there, all those extra pieces.
Nice.
Defenders of the Realm, when I first played it, I instantly knew it was a good game. I was just concerned. I said, this seems a little like Pandemic.
A little, you say? Pandemic it is.
Well, it's once you start playing it, it doesn't feel like Pandemic at all
Well, the
because you're
first
running
time-
around, you're fighting, and you don't actually fight the cubes in
I do that in
Pandemic.
Pandemic. You're running around fighting disease.
Yeah, but you're not rolling dice and using special abilities and such.
I roll the cubes.
Okay.
It's always the same result. I played it. This is one of the ones I actually have played. Apparently, these 10, I'm out.
Yeah, you are no good here.
I'm sorry. People, why? Why are you voting for these games I haven't played? Send them to me at. This is one I have played, but I had the opposite reaction to the reaction you had. As soon as I played it, I said, it's Pandemic. Longer, more stuff going on, but it's Pandemic. I like Pandemic. Pandemic's actually my favorite game, so this is kind of rough competition.
Oh, you just ruined it. Spoiler.
It's my favorite game. I said my favorite game. I don't know about the people. Shut up, Tom. So, for me, this is a miss. I like the flavor, but wrap it up in a different game.
Incorrect.
It's
Incorrect.
Just Pandemic.
Z is incorrect
in
here.
different clothing. No.
Well, that's it for this time. I will try to get Z to have played some of the games from next time. Have you played any of these? Yeah, I know you've played a couple of them. Well,
Oh, good stuff.
all right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell,
I'm Z Garcia.
who obviously doesn't play many games.
of all
We'll see you next time.
Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.